And I married someone that was, I always tell guys when they meet a woman.
Jay Leno built his career on being the nice guy. Clean jokes, family values, loyal husband. But a rumor followed him for 40 years. An affair that could have destroyed everything. Leno always denied it completely. Now at 75, as he cares for his wife with dementia, he's changing his story. The rumor was partially true, he admits. His memoir will reveal details that shock Hollywood. The confession involves someone who meant more to him than anyone knew. America's favorite host had a secret worth millions. Jay Leno was born on April 28, 1950, in New Rochelle, New York. His home was full of two very different sounds. His mother, Catherine, came from Scotland and often sang lullabies in a heavy accent. His father, Angelo, worked in insurance and was always talking fast, trying to close sales. Catherine had come to America alone at the age of 11. She didn't speak any English when she arrived, but she had promised herself that her kids would learn how to work hard. Angelo once drove through 3 different states in one day, just to make his sales quota. At night, their house was full of stories and songs. Young Jay sat at the table, listening closely. By the time he was 7, he had memorized his father's entire sales pitch and would perform it for the neighborhood kids. He even used fake insurance charts and made a few nickels doing it. He learned early that working hard and being funny could both earn you something. He also decided he would never live off just one paycheck. Jay had trouble in school. Teachers thought he was slow. He couldn't read well and often got words mixed up. He didn't know it at the time, but he had dyslexia. In 1st grade, he struggled with basic phonics. In 5th and 8th grade, he had to repeat the whole year. In 1968, a guidance counselor told him to drop out. But instead of breaking down, Jay made a joke. He copied the man's serious voice and switched all the letters around. His classmates laughed, and he got detention. But it lit a fire in him. He began writing jokes every single night. He filled entire notebooks and forced himself to read them backward, hoping it would help his brain. At 17, he snuck into the school's announcement booth and played a fake weather report, warning about teacher layoffs. He got suspended for 3 days. But the prank became school legend, and Jay realized that even his reading problem could become a comedy weapon. When Jay was 14, he got a job at Tony's Pizza in Andover, making $1.25 an hour. He wasn't allowed to use his dad's shiny Buick, so he drove a worn-out Dodge to deliver pizzas. He had to make each delivery in under 20 minutes. So he started calling the customers first, pretending to be a concerned dad, asking if Jay had arrived yet. That way, they'd be waiting at the door. It saved time. While driving, he practiced punchlines in the rearview mirror. He rated each joke on a clipboard stained with pizza grease. In February 1966, during a snowstorm, he showed up at a college party with 2 pizzas. He asked to trade them for 5 minutes on stage. He joked about anchovies and snow chains.
Excuse me, can I have the key to the washroom? Yeah, it is. It's on this big ring, and don't try to steal it.
He made $22 in tips, his first paid comedy gig. Tony wasn't happy and told him to stop messing with the menu.
Leno, the pelican-faced comedian.
But the moment stuck with Jay. Also in 1964, Jay entered a talent show at the local YMCA. He tried to imitate his idol, Rodney Dangerfield. He even put cold cream on his face to mimic Rodney's sweaty look. But when a stage light hit him, the cream made him look like a clown. The crowd thought he was mocking Rodney and started booing. Jay panicked and ran off stage, knocking over the microphone and breaking the sound system. He had borrowed $5 from his brother Patrick to enter, but now he had to pay it back. That night, he played the sound of the boos over and over, exactly 47 times. He told himself he would only continue if he could come up with his own material. In 1969, Jay got into Emerson College in Boston. They only accepted him because the founder felt bad about his dyslexia. He chose speech therapy as his major, but mostly skipped class. Every night, he went to a small open mic at a strip mall cafe. On November 12, 1969, another comic stole one of Jay's jokes about a Scottish-French teacher. Jay was so angry, he jumped on stage and fought the guy outside. The crowd started yelling, "Read him his vowels." Campus police showed up, but didn't arrest anyone. Jay chipped a front tooth during the fight, which gave him the chin-forward look that later became part of his image. The school threatened to expel him, but Jay offered to start an official comedy club instead. That club still exists today. After graduating in 1973, Jay moved to Los Angeles with just $350 and a rusty Chevy. He slept on the couch of fellow comedian Tim Thomerson and only got to perform at 2 a.m. for free. Mitzi Shore, who ran the Comedy Store, didn't like his clean-cut style and banned him for 6 months. To survive, Jay performed in pizza places and even did comedy at a topless lounge inside the Aladdin Casino for $40 a night. David Letterman helped him get back into the Comedy Store in 1974, but Jay never forgot how Mitzi treated him and later refused to perform there for decades. Jay got his first shot on The Tonight Show on March 2, 1975. He was supposed to have 5 minutes, but Johnny Carson told the band to stall and cut Jay down to 3. Jay was angry and argued with Carson backstage. Carson warned him not to push it. The producers smoothed things over, but Jay's performance was shelved and didn't air until May. That 9-week delay felt like forever to a hungry 24-year-old comic. Between 1973 and 1976, Jay dated 5 different women who all had the same birthday. September 5th. He joked that it was like dating the same person in 5 wigs. He even got called Mr. Virgo Vortex by a gossip columnist. Jay became obsessed with asking people their birthdays, which led to strange rumors in Hollywood. Then, on April 30th, 1976, Jay met Mavis Nicholson at the Comedy Store. He was rushing to the bathroom and bumped into her by accident. They talked near a broken urinal. After the show, he saw her again near the ladies' room and asked for her birthday. When she said September 5th, Jay burst out laughing. They went to eat chili that night. Their first real date didn't happen until August because Jay was doing over 300 shows and driving 52,000 miles that year. They made it work. In 1978, Jay got a small part in the movie American Hot Wax, playing a driver named Mookie. He was paid $5,000 and filmed for 10 weeks. The movie flopped, making only $2.2 million against a $6 million budget. A producer told him to stick to stand-up. The movie failure and a pay strike at the Comedy Store sent Jay into a slump. He thought about selling his old 1955 Buick and becoming a mechanic. But on October 6, 1979, he performed for 2,800 people in Denver. The show sold out, and that night he decided to stick with comedy forever. On November 3, 1980, Jay and Mavis got married. They picked the date to match his parents' anniversary. The wedding was small, held at a friend's house. Their relationship had started back in January 1976, but it wasn't love at first sight. Mavis had come to the club just to meet people for her writing career, but she liked Jay's look and said he was gorgeous. Their marriage was based more on loyalty than romance. They believed in being there for each other in sickness and in health. That turned out to be very important, especially after Mavis was diagnosed with dementia in 2024. Jay's career really took off when he became the regular guest host for Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show in 1986. He was careful, though. He acted like he wasn't trying to take Carson's job, but secretly he met with NBC bosses and worked behind the scenes to become the next host. This plan worked. On May 25, 1992, something happened in Hollywood that felt like a betrayal to many. Jay Leno took over The Tonight Show, but the way he got that seat shocked people across the industry. Everyone had expected David Letterman to be the next host. Even Johnny Carson, who had ruled late-night TV for decades, wanted Letterman to take his place. In fact, during his final years, Carson would often send Letterman monologue jokes. But NBC made a different choice. They gave it to Leno, who had been Carson's regular guest host. Carson didn't hide his disappointment. He didn't mention Leno at all during his final episodes. Later, he even went on Letterman's CBS show twice, which many believed was a clear message. Letterman felt deeply betrayed. In June 1993, he left NBC and started his own show on CBS. That whole transition was so bitter that people inside the business called it a loyalty test. Leno had to pick sides, and many felt he turned on people who helped him. It gave him a new image, someone willing to do whatever it took, even if it meant burning bridges. Leno's first night as host didn't go well. His debut episode aired on May 25, 1992, and it was a disaster. Many celebrities who loved Johnny Carson refused to show up. Leno was left calling agents, almost begging them to send guests. Ratings were terrible. NBC panicked. And behind the scenes, things were worse. Leno's longtime manager, Helen Kushnick, had started secretly blacklisting stars who went on other shows like Arsenio Hall. This made enemies fast. Just 4 months later, on September 20, 1992, NBC showed up at Leno's house. They gave him a choice: fire Helen or lose the show. They told him she was hurting his career. That early mess nearly ended everything before it really began. By 1993, Jay Leno found a new path, making jokes about O.J. Simpson. From the murder case to the courtroom drama, Leno turned it all into comedy. He made more O.J. jokes than about anyone else, even Michael Jackson or Martha Stewart. He created a strange dance skit called The Dancing Itos, using people dressed like Judge Lance Ito. He even spoofed the murder case with the Gilligan's Island theme. David Letterman stayed away from those jokes, saying the case was too serious. But Leno went full speed, turning tragedy into nightly laughs. Some people thought it was too much. They said he had crossed a line, making comedy out of death. But the ratings went up. That success came at a price. Critics said late-night comedy had become cruel. In July 1995, something unexpected saved Leno's image. Hugh Grant was arrested for being with a prostitute named Divine Brown. It was a huge scandal. Still, Grant kept his booking on The Tonight Show. On July 10th, he walked out alone. No handlers, no spin doctors. Leno looked him in the eye and asked, "What the hell were you thinking?" Grant didn't dodge the question. He admitted he made a huge mistake. That night, the show pulled in massive ratings. Leno later told his wife that he felt dirty for using Grant's shame for laughs. But it worked. People loved the honesty. Just a few months before that, in September 1992, Leno had already made a tough move. He fired Helen Kushnick, the woman who had helped him rise for 17 years. NBC forced his hand. She had been blackballing stars, and it became too risky to keep her. The moment she was out, she sued. The fight was ugly. But by 1999, Leno's show was getting 5 million viewers every night and beating Letterman in the ratings. That firing showed the world how far Leno would go to stay on top. In 2004, NBC made a big announcement. They said Conan O'Brien would take over The Tonight Show in 2009. It seemed like a peaceful plan, but secretly, Leno was setting something else up. While telling everyone he supported Conan, Leno was making deals with NBC for a new show at 10 p.m. That meant his show would air right before Conan's, pulling away viewers. People were stunned. It looked like he was trying to ruin Conan's chances while smiling in public. This move broke an unspoken rule in television. It felt sneaky. It also took away a third of NBC's primetime lineup, something that shocked the entire TV world. When Leno said goodbye on May 29, 2009, many believed it was for real. He cried on camera and said he was the luckiest guy in the world. But just 4 months later, in September 2009, he was back with The Jay Leno Show. His farewell was nothing more than an act. That first night back pulled over 18 million viewers. But the illusion was broken. Critics said Leno faked his emotions just to get sympathy, then turned around and crushed his replacement. Then things got worse. In January 2010, private emails leaked from NBC. Executives wanted to move Leno back to 11:35 p.m. and push Conan to 12:05 a.m. It was a major blow. The emails even showed Leno's team mocking Conan, calling him unfunny. One executive, Jeff Zucker, warned Conan he'd be iced for 2 years if he didn't accept. That led to Conan's famous People of Earth letter, where he said no and blamed Leno directly. Conan told his staff, "I know how hard I worked for this. It was promised to me. I had a shitty lead-in." NBC ended up paying millions to settle the mess, and it split the comedy world down the middle. During this storm, something strange came out. In a 2014 interview, Leno revealed that all 5 women he had lived with, including his wife Mavis, were born on September 5th. He even said he could sense people with that birthday. He claimed he asked Mavis about it the moment they met. This odd pattern became a joke on other shows. People started wondering if Leno's obsession with control extended to his personal life too. Back in 2006, Leno took someone to court for stealing his jokes. He sued Judith Brown, a book publisher, for using his material. The case settled in 2008, but during the process, something unexpected happened. Other comedians accused Leno of taking jokes himself. It exposed a darker side of comedy, where stealing lines was more common than fans realized. Leno said he wanted to protect joke writing as an art, but not everyone bought that. The legal battle cost about $1 million and made people question his nice guy image. Conan himself would later face a similar lawsuit in 2015, and he settled in 2019. After all the drama, Leno came back to The Tonight Show in March 2010. But things had changed. By July 2010, the ratings were falling. His average viewership dropped from 537 million to about 4.4 million. The audience got older too. The median age jumped to 56, more than 10 years older than Conan's crowd. Among the key 18 to 49 age group, Leno fell from 1.5 to 1.15. He still stayed ahead of Letterman, but the energy was gone. In his final week in February 2014, he got 4.99 million viewers, his best numbers since 2010. But no one could prove that he ever admitted to feeling outdated. After leaving late night for good, Leno turned his full attention to cars. He launched Jay Leno's Garage and showed off his amazing collection: 180 cars and 160 motorcycles, all stored near the Burbank airport. He showed everything from steam cars to supercars. There was no proof of a major garage fire in 2012, but something serious did happen on November 12, 2022. While working on a 1907 steam car, gasoline sprayed on his face and caught fire. Leno suffered second- and third-degree burns on about 7% of his body. He spent 10 days in the hospital, getting oxygen therapy and skin grafts. Just 2 weeks after that fire, Leno was back on stage. In November 2022, he performed at the Comedy and Magic Club in California. He joked about the burns, saying, "We got 2 shows tonight, regular and extra crispy." The show sold out. People were amazed by how fast he bounced back. Even during his Tonight Show years, he never stopped doing stand-up. Fans still loved his self-mocking jokes and how he turned pain into punchlines. In 2015, Leno began a new chapter as a recurring character on Last Man Standing. He played a mechanic named Joe Leonard. Off camera, he and Tim Allen had a playful rivalry. They kept trying to outdo each other by driving cooler vintage cars to the set. Their co-star Nancy Travis said it became a daily challenge. Tim Allen even posted pictures of their car battles online. Leno's love for cars wasn't just for TV. It showed in everything he did, even on set. On November 12, 2022, Jay Leno was in his Burbank garage working on a very old car from 1907. It was a steam-powered car made by White Motor Company. While he was lying underneath it, trying to clear a clogged fuel line, he told a friend to blow air through it. But suddenly, gasoline shot out. A second later, the pilot light lit it on fire. The flames hit Jay's face before he could move. He ended up with burns on 7% of his body. His hands, chest, and most of all, his face were burned badly. The doctors said the burns on his face were third degree. They even used pieces of skin from human cadavers to help him heal. He spent 10 days in the Grossman Burn Center, where he got special oxygen treatments every day. Just days after leaving the hospital, Jay walked on stage again and told the crowd, "We got 2 shows tonight, regular and extra crispy." Everyone laughed, but his pain was still fresh. Then came another accident. On January 17, 2023, just 2 months later, Jay was riding a 1940 Indian motorcycle not far from his garage. He was 72 years old. He noticed the bike was leaking gas, so he started to turn back. He decided to cut through a parking lot to get there faster, but someone had stretched a wire across the lot. It wasn't marked clearly. The wire hit him in the neck like a clothesline. It threw him off the bike. He broke his collarbone, cracked 2 ribs, and fractured both kneecaps. He had to get shoulder surgery and pause his comedy shows. But once again, Jay stayed funny about it. He said, "A 72-year-old man riding an 83-year-old motorcycle. What could go wrong?" It didn't stop there. On November 15, 2024, Jay was in Pittsburgh. He had a show that night, but before it, he decided to walk to a restaurant. The road was long, about 1.5 miles, so he tried to take a shortcut down a hill. He thought it didn't look that steep. But halfway down, he slipped on the rocks. He fell 60 feet. When he hit the ground, his wrist was broken. He lost a fingernail. His eye was swollen and bruised so badly he wore an eye patch. But even after all that, he still showed up and did the show that same night. Later he joked, "The great thing about this age is you don't learn from your mistakes. You just keep doing the same stupid thing." All these accidents made people wonder if Jay was chasing danger on purpose. His garage is full of old machines, over 180 cars and 160 motorcycles, many of them unrestored and risky to drive. He once admitted he rode and worked on them because it made him feel alive. Every time he recovered from one injury, he went right back to it. After the fire in 2022, he was back in the garage in no time. After the motorcycle crash in 2023, he didn't slow down. Even the fall in 2024 didn't stop him from walking on stage. People around him started to worry that Jay wasn't just unlucky. He might be addicted to the rush. These accidents also started affecting his job. After the fire in 2022, he had to cancel a big event in Las Vegas because of what they called a serious medical emergency. After the motorcycle crash, his stand-up shows had to be paused again. The hill fall happened just before another show in Pittsburgh, but he still performed. His team has had to move things around more than once. Jay tries to act like everything is fine, but those close to him know he's pushing his body too far. His drive to keep performing, even when he's hurt, is both inspiring and scary. There's another side to Jay's story that many people don't know about. He and his wife Mavis never had kids. Mavis never wanted to be a mother. When she was just 7 or 8, She told her own mother that she would never get married or have children. She believed that's how women got trapped. But something changed when she met Jay in January 1976 at the Comedy Store. He was performing that night. She was in the front row. They started talking. She told him right away that she didn't want children. Jay respected that completely. He once said, "My wife and I have been married for 32 years. No kids, but we have a cat." But Mavis was far from ordinary. In 1999, she helped lead a massive campaign against the Taliban. As part of the feminist majority group, she and Jay donated $100,000 to help Afghan women. Mavis even got a major oil company to cancel an $8 billion pipeline project in Afghanistan. She gave speeches in Congress, held events with celebrities, and became a target because of her bold stance. She called it "Stop Gender Apartheid in Afghanistan." She was fearless. Still, their marriage wasn't always easy. Jay's work habits were intense. When he hosted The Tonight Show, which earned up to $255 million per year, he worked constantly. He even hid in closets at NBC to hear secret conversations about who would host after him. NPR once said Jay had an almost pathological focus on his comedy work. His drive kept him successful, but it also kept him away from home. Then, in April 2024, everything changed. Jay went to court to ask for legal control over Mavis's finances. She had been showing signs of dementia for years, and doctors finally diagnosed her with Alzheimer's disease. The court papers were heartbreaking. Mavis didn't always recognize Jay. She forgot her birth date. Sometimes she talked about her parents as if they were still alive. The judge gave Jay full control and praised him for the care he was giving. Even their lawyer said Mavis was in the best hands. Jay opened up about this in April 2025. He said he still loves spending time with her. He cooks dinner, they watch TV, and play memory games. But behind the scenes, it's very hard. He cried once after feeding her and said it haunts him. He carries her to the bathroom, helps her eat, and stays by her side all day. He doesn't enjoy the tasks, but he feels proud that he's the one doing them. He even told her once that they had dinner with Barack Obama at the White House, and she didn't believe him. Another strange detail came out too. Jay once lived with 5 women in his life, and every one of them was born on September 5th. He didn't plan it. It just happened. His wife Mavis is also born on September 5th. When he asked her birthday and she told him, he laughed. She asked why, and he just said, "Oh, nothing." Later, astrology fans discovered that Jay's moon sign is at 13 degrees Virgo, and women born on September 5th have their sun sign at the same place. Some people now say it's not just chance. They call it a cosmic match. In April 2025, Jay also spoke about David Letterman. For years, they had tension over The Tonight Show. But Jay said he would like to meet him again. He told a story about how, after Dave's heart attack in 2000, he was told not to mention it on TV. When he stayed silent, newspapers attacked him. One headline read, "The only person who didn't wish Dave well was Leno." Jay said that moment still hurts him. He once even surprised Letterman at his house in Malibu, but said it was one of the most awkward days of his life. Now at 75, Jay is writing a memoir. He said there will be surprises in it. One topic is the rumor about him having an affair in the 1980s. For years, he denied it. But now, he says the rumor is partially true. He didn't give details, but hinted there's a lot fans don't know. The book is planned to come out at the end of 2025, around his 75th birthday. Big publishers are fighting for the rights, and insiders think it could be one of the most shocking celebrity books in years.